guys, it's Angela, and today I'm going to be talking about all the books I got during the month of March. So during the month of March, I got a total of 20 books. A few of them were sent to me from my friends, and the rest I purchased on my own. The first two books I have are Every Heart a Doorway and Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire. These my friend Haley actually unhauled, and now here they are in my book haul because it's the book Circle of Life. So yeah, these are really short, almost like novella type stories about children who come from places, fantasy worlds like Narnia, and then they come back to the real world, and it's about them getting acclimated to the real world. And yeah, they sound pretty interesting. These next two books arrived in the mail for me when I came home from my vacation. And the first is Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This was gifted to me by my friend Yannick. This is a massive epic fantasy, and a big part of the story are dragons. I know that it's told within 4 different perspectives, and like I said, it's quite massive. I've already looked at the glossary and stuff in the back, but that's really all I know. I know it's dragons, I know it has a beautiful cover and a beautiful spine, and I'm so excited to read it. And Yannick did not only send me 1, but 2 books. She also sent me The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I have talked about this book before. I read it for the first time this year, and I fell absolutely in love with it. I had this book on my Amazon wish list because I really wanted the hardcover, and I thought it would be one of those beautiful books that you can have facing outwards on your shelves. So if you don't already know, this is a story about Evelyn Hugo and her 7 husbands, and she hires this girl to basically write her memoir, and they have a connection, which is discovered later on in the book. But this was such a phenomenal book, 5 stars. If you haven't read it already, go read it. I recommend this to absolutely everyone who is looking for a new fantastic read. And the last book that was gifted to me this month was Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. My friend Mayana from Little Wolf Reads sent this to me along with a lovely note which I taped on the inside, so thank you so much, Mayana. This is a story about a boy named Laszlo who is a librarian, and he is obsessed with finding the lost city of Weep. I've talked about this book before on my channel because I have already read it, but I wanted to have a hard copy for my shelves. Also, I can't wait for the soft cover of Muse of Nightmares to come out. Anyway, this book is lyrical and beautifully written, and if you haven't read it already, I recommend it. So the rest of the books I'm going to haul this month are books that I bought myself. So next we have The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one by Amanda Lovelace. This is a modern poetry collection. It is her 3rd in her little series of poetry books. It's the Target exclusive edition. I'm not sure if the other ones have the Mermaid's Tale, but this one does. And it includes bonus poems. So yeah, I loved her other 2 poetry works. I really like modern poetry, so I'm really excited to get into this one. The next book I have is Illuminate by J. Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. I did not get this at Target. I just haven't taken off the sticker. I actually got this on Book Outlet. And this is a sci-fi story told with mixed media formatting. My friends Jake from Jake Does Books and Liv from Liv Reads a Latte are hosting a J. Kristoff-a-thon where they're reading a J. Kristoff book every month, and April is the month that they're going to be reading Illuminate. So I've heard wonderful things about this series, and I will be picking it up when they do in April. This next book I got in North Carolina because my aunt said, do you want to go to Barnes & Noble? And obviously you can never say no to that. So I picked up Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is a story about Daisy Jones and a band, the Six, who got together in the 1970s and then broke up. And this story is told in interviews explaining why they broke up, and I actually started it. You can see the bookmark. I started it on the plane, and I'm going to finish it in April with my friend Jamie. It was really cute because I was sitting in the airport and I was waiting to get on my flight, and this little old man sat next to me and he saw me reading the book, and I usually fly alone, so it was just me, and he was like, what you reading? And I told him about the book and what it was about, and he's like, wow, that's really interesting. And then he just goes off into tell me the book that he's reading and what the book was all about, and it was really cute. So yeah, Daisy Jones and the Six, highly hyped, highly talked about. Most of my friends have loved it, so I'm hoping that I do too. The next two books I have to haul are part of a series, and they are Shatter Me by Tahada Mafi and Restore Me by Tahada Mafi, and this is the first and fourth book in a series. This is about a girl named Juliet who has a lethal touch, and I actually own the second book, Unravel Me, and the third book, Ignite Me, in paperback, so I basically just needed Shatter Me and Restore Me to complete the collection. And Defy Me comes out on April 2nd, and I'm so excited, but I kind of regret committing to the paperbacks now because I'm going to have to wait a whole nother year to own it. I mean, obviously I'm going to read it on the 2nd, regardless of if I own it or not, but like, oh well, they're absolutely beautiful, phenomenal series. If you haven't checked it out already, I recommend it. These next two books I have to talk about are very popular, not only on the booktube community, but in the world of books in general. And the first one is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I got this at Target. You can see I didn't really finish peeling off the sticker. It was an online order, so that meant it was on clearance in store, and it was like $5.99, perfect condition. This book has been on the New York Times bestseller list for an insanely long time. I know that mostly everyone in the community has read it, so I'm a little late to the game with this, but I know that it has a person of color main character named Star, and it deals with the shooting. And it's a very hard-hitting and important book that has received 2 awards, so I'm really excited to be picking this up soon. The next book I got is also by Angie Thomas, and that is On the Come Up. I found a signed first edition at Target, and it's absolutely beautiful. I love the spines together. They look so good. This is about a girl who is a rapper, and she's like trying to make it big, and it just sounds very interesting. I don't think it's related to The Hate You Give. I think maybe it's in the same town or the same neighborhood, but I don't think the characters themselves are related. But I do want to read The Hate You Give before moving on to On the Come Up. And I know that this was, I believe, number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. I don't know if it still is, but I know that it was. The next book I have to talk about is The Daughter of the Siren Queen by Trisha Levenseller. This is the sequel to The Daughter of the Pirate King, which is a story about kind of what it sounds like, the daughter of the Pirate King. She is a pirate and she goes on a ship to be held captive. And this is the sequel to that. The main character, her name is Alosa, I believe that's how you pronounce it. She's so badass, and I loved her so much. And so I'm really excited to get onto the Siren Queen. I also love sirens. They're my favorite mythical creature to read about. So I'm really excited for this, and I hope that I enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first book. The next book is Stay Sweet by Siobhan Vivian. I picked this up on Book Outlet for like $2. I know it released last summer, and I had my eye on it then. It's just about like a girl who works at an ice cream shop, and I love ice cream and ice cream places. And I thought it would be a really nice, quick, cute little summer read. So I'm really looking forward to picking this up when the weather gets a little warmer. Next we have The Lost by Natasha Preston. I've read some of her previous books, one of them being The Cellar. And I think all her books are thrillers, and The Cellar is really good. So if you haven't read that, I would totally recommend it. But I know that this is a thriller, and it's about like girls who are trapped in like some house, and I think it becomes like a sick game for them to get out. I don't really like to know too much going into my thrillers, but I do know that I enjoyed Natasha Preston's previous work, so I assume I'll like this one too. Also, all her covers have like flowers on them. That seems to be like a theme of hers, which I think is really cool. So yeah, I'm excited. Of course I'm excited, because would it be a book haul if I didn't say I was excited? No. Next we have another thriller, which I know even less than I knew about the previous thriller, and that is The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. I know this is about like girls and a family that has like really dark family secrets. The back says a creepy thriller of doomed women, perfect for our time. I've learned about myself that I really don't like to know too much about thrillers going into them. So I've learned that I really suck at describing books unless I've read them. So yeah, The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel. Sounds good, gonna read it. I'll let you know. And next we have Made You Up by Francesca Zappia, who also wrote one of my favorite books, Eliza and Her Monsters. This book is about a girl named Alex who has schizophrenia, and it's about her life trying to decipher, what's there and what's not because of her mental illness. And schizophrenia is a very interesting and heartbreaking topic in my opinion, so I'm very excited to see how it's handled within this book and how the rep is. So if you've read this book already, or maybe you yourself have schizophrenia and you have read this book, let me know how the rep is because I'm really curious. But her anxiety rep was really good in Eliza and Her Monsters, so I'm assuming her schizophrenia rep will be good too. But nonetheless, of course I'm excited and I can't wait to dive into this. Next book is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. Emma from Emma Books absolutely raves about this, and every book that she's recommended that I read, I've loved. So I'm assuming it'll be the same way with this book. But this is about a murder that takes place at a private school, and then years later it's reinvestigated. And I love, like I said before, mystery thriller books like this, so I'm really excited. I've also heard that it has anxiety rep, and I think maybe anxiety medication rep, which I'm very excited about seeing. So yeah. And we've made it to the 20th book, and if you're still here, thank you. Thank you. So anyway, the next book is The Anatomical Shape of a Heart by Jen Bennett. I've read her two other works, which are Alex Approximately and Starry Eyes, and given both of them 5 stars. And like her other works, this is a romance novel, but the premise sounds quite intriguing because the main character has to draw, doesn't have to draw, but she does draw pictures of cadavers, which are like dead bodies. So it sounds kind of like, not spooky, but like medical and like kind of eerie, but also kind of intriguing because I was once a nursing student, so we did work with, organs and stuff, and it sounds super cool, and I'm hoping that I enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed her previous books. Okay, just kidding. I have one more book to haul. This is the 20th book, which is A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallaro. My friend Raquel absolutely loves this series. She raves about the series, and she's the reason that I picked up the first book. Also, my friend Katie and I are going to be buddy reading this series together, so I'm super excited to do that. But this is the story about a girl named Charlotte who is Sherlock Holmes' great-great-granddaughter, or great-great-great. 2 or 3 greats, I'm not sure, but so it's kind of like a gender-bent Sherlock Holmes story, and like I mentioned already, I love mysteries and thrillers, and Rocky loves this a lot, so I'm sure I'm going to like it too. So those were all 20 books that I accumulated during the month of March. I did get some Stephen King books, but I wanted to save them for a Stephen King haul in the future. Thank you to my lovely friends who sent me books on my Amazon wishlist. You guys are so sweet. I think that it's so fun in the book community that people just randomly send each other books. It's such a nice surprise, and it was such a great surprise to come home to when I came back from vacation. So thank you so much for watching, and have a good one. Bye!